the f? What the f?
Canada has its fair share of some really bizarre creatures, unbelievable discoveries, incredible sights, and mind-boggling traditions. In today's video, we will tell you the most shocking things discovered in Canada that no one was supposed to see. Exploding whale carcass. A blue whale carcass washed up on the shore of Canada's Newfoundland in 2014, which startled the resident due to its abnormal size. The whale was inflated and could have exploded at any time. The 81-foot whale was believed to have died in heavy ice weeks ago. The whale bloated up to twice its normal size. The body of the whale was bloated with methane gas caused by decomposition and would have soon reeked, regardless of whether it exploded or not. Researchers said that it would most likely deflate like a balloon. After a lot of uproar, the whale was later removed from the premises. Before we move any further, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon so you can keep watching our amazing content. Bigfoot skull found in Canada. An American YouTuber and wildlife presenter, Nathaniel Peterson, shocked everybody by claiming that he found a Bigfoot skull in a Canadian forest. First, he posted a video on Facebook saying that he found a non-human primate skull, which according to him had a mysterious background. Nathaniel uploaded the video on YouTube titled "Bigfoot Skull Found in Canada," where he found a skull embedded in the mud. He then put it down on the grass beside the ravine, after which he declared that the skull is that of a primate. Is all of this a hoax, or is it a real deal? You guys be the judge. Living dinosaur caught in British Columbia. Ives Bison, a Canadian fisherman, caught this amazing catch in British Columbia recently, which has been dubbed the living dinosaur. The huge beast is 10.5 feet in size and 660 pounds in weight. The name living dinosaur was due to the fact that it dates back to the Jurassic era. Also, these freakish fish can live up to 100 years old. I don't mean to be dramatic, but this fish legitimately looks like a shark. It legitimately looks like a monster. The two men played around with it before tagging it and then eventually releasing it back in the water. Dinosaur mummy. In 2011, miners in Alberta, Canada made a truly remarkable discovery when they came across an unusual fossil, which is now considered to be among the most preserved dinosaur remains ever unearthed. A new kind of armored prehistoric dino. The researchers had found more than just its skeleton. It was still remarkably intact, containing much of its skin and guts. And when it was finally put on display, it was like seeing an 18-foot sleeping dragon, a creature that could wake at any moment. The excavation was almost a nightmare of 110 million years in the waiting. But looking at this dinosaur, it's clear it was all worth the wait and the worry. Apocalyptic Ark. A man named Bruce Beach was so scared during the era of the Cold War that he built an ark to hide out from the upcoming nuclear apocalypse. He was pretty sure that the war would end with a horrifying disaster. The man bought a total of 42 school buses in the 1980s and linked them together in the village of Horning Mills, north of Toronto, Ontario. This is how his hideout became the world's largest private fallout shelter. His friends, family, and fellows helped him in all this. The place can accommodate approximately 500 people for the length of time required to safely return to the surface after a cataclysmic nuclear event. Now we'll know where to head in any future calamity. Shipwreck in a lake. Researchers found a shipwreck of a commercial sailing vessel in a lake in Ontario. The shipwreck is approximately 200 years old, as it sank in the lake on the 6th of November, 1803. Due to a fierce storm, the ship caught during its voyage from India with fully loaded cargo goods. Though there were no passengers in the ship, all the 5 crew members died during the unfortunate incident. The most shocking for the researchers was that even after 2 centuries, the ship was intact. It just sank yesterday. Snapdragon seed pod. This is a snapdragon seed pod that resembles little dragon jaws that open and close when you gently squeeze the sides of the flowers. When the snapdragon flowers die, the dried seed pods look like tiny brown shrunken skulls, proving just how strange nature can be. According to ancient cultures, the snapdragon possesses supernatural powers. They were thought to offer protection from deceit, curses, and witchcraft if they were planted in your garden. Another myth maintains that they are able to restore youthfulness and beauty to any woman who ate them. Woolly mammoth. Miners in Canada found something more precious than gold during an excavation in Klondike goldfields. They found Nunchuga, the most preserved mummified woolly mammoth yet to be found in North America. The animal is believed to be female and would have died during the Ice Age more than 30,000 years ago. The stunning preserved baby, which measured just 4.5 feet long and has much of her hair and skin intact. The baby mammoth, considered a relative of modern elephants, likely roamed alongside wild horses, cave lions, and giant steppe bison. Fairies Forest. Most of us were fan of fairies and the enchanted forest when we were little, but these brothers from Canada turned their childhood dream into reality. These brothers, David and Peter Brown, were given a part of the forest for farming, but instead of turning it into a field, they decided to make it a fairyland. They decorated the forest with hundreds of small, colorful huts that give you a feeling of an animated world. The place has an elaborate display of over 400 handcrafted fairy tale figurines, hand-painted gnomes, and the tallest treehouse in Canada. They started this endeavor in the 1950s as a retirement hobby. They lived their remaining days in the treehouse they built themselves in the middle of a fairy forest. Ice music. This concert was arranged by a Norwegian instrumentalist, Terje Isungset, in Canada, who specializes in using instruments made entirely out of ice. The musician says that he is inspired by the Canadian Arctic. All of these instruments are hand-carved with ultimate precision. There is an ice harp, an ice violin, and an isophone. Ice blocks are also used as a replacement for drums. I think it's safe to say the band is playing the coolest band ever, and even though it is ice, it melted my heart. Ice Hotel. The hotel is just like an igloo, but of course it is bigger and better. The Hotel de Glace is situated outside of Quebec City, Canada. Due to the structural composition, the hotel only operates during the months of January to March every year, but it is always a hotspot for tourists all over the world. The hotel was first opened to the public in 2001. A team of about 30 workers and 15 sculptors works for 6 weeks a year to craft the hotel each year for its January opening. This grand frozen palace is made from 40,000 tons of snow. Apart from other hotel facilities, there are detailed ice sculptures and carvings throughout this ice palace to amuse the guests. Freezing hair contest. How would you like to participate in this eccentric freezing hair contest arranged in Yukon Territory, Canada? Would a price of 2,000 Canadian dollars entice you? The price will only go to the person whose hair turns out to be the most stylish. The contest brings a nice blend of art with science. The water is unbelievably warm here, as the hot water flows from the depths of the Earth's crust to this place with a temperature of 116 degrees Fahrenheit. People just have to dunk their heads in the hot, cozy water, and after getting the hair out, it instantly starts freezing. This is the moment when a creative and eccentric style could be given to the hair. Style them with some spikes like a pyramid or some other bewitching way. Red octopus. These Canadian fishermen accidentally caught a raging red octopus in place of prawns in a prawn trap in British Columbia. Look at those squirming tentacles! The people didn't know how to handle it, so in the end, they released the Kraken back into the water. Red octopus sure looks beautiful, but its venom packs a punch. The bite is potent, and the painful effects can last for days, weeks, or longer. 14,000-year-old Ice Age village. Archaeologists have uncovered a 14,000-year-old ice village on Treacle Island, 310 miles northwest of Victoria, Canada. The discovery is said to be 3 times older than the Egyptian pyramids. Several artifacts were unearthed, including tools for creating fires, fishing hooks, and spears dating from the Ice Age. The discovery expands the view of how early humans used to live. Snakes mating. The Narcisse Snake Dens is a provincial wildlife management area in Manitoba, Canada. The dens are the winter home of tens of thousands of red-sided garter snakes. In the spring, you can see the annual mating ritual, where one female is surrounded by up to 100 males to form a mating ball. The most exciting thing is that you are allowed to pick up and handle the snakes. Don't worry, as these tiny garter snakes are not venomous, and the little teeth they have won't even break your skin. Methane bubbles. Have a look at these pearl-like bubbles trapped between the layers of ice. In the winter months, the temperature around Lake Abraham can drop dangerously low, and ice forms on the lake's surface, which then traps the frozen methane bubbles inside it. These spotted methane bubbles are the result of the emission of methane gas, which is formed when bacteria at the bottom of the lake devour dead organic matter and secrete large amounts of methane that bubble and float upwards. People even try to have fun with them by putting on a fire experiment. Living dead frogs. I am talking about the wood frogs, who, when unable to travel large distances to escape Canada's winter, went into an incredible survival mode. They freeze. When winter comes, they almost give up on living. Their bodies produce a special antifreeze in their blood, made out of glucose and glycogen. This prevents the ice crystals from forming and kills them. They remain frozen for almost 7 months. The body shuts down major processes so that they don't need much energy to survive, hence remaining alive even after starving for months. Aurora borealis. An aurora, also commonly known as the polar lights, is a natural light display in the sky that is seen in high-latitude regions around the Arctic and Antarctic. These heavenly lights display a light show that are visible in Canada, Alaska, Iceland, Greenland, Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Russia. It looks like heaven on Earth. The northern lights are actually caused by a collision between gaseous particles in the Earth's atmosphere with charged particles from the sun's atmosphere. All you really need is a dark and clear night sky and aurora activity. Mark your calendars and pack your bags for the most ethereal sight of your life. Spotted Lake. As you can guess by the name, this lake from Okanagan Valley, British Columbia, Canada, has some pretty bizarre polka dot-type spotted rings. Throughout the winter and into spring, it looks like any other body of water. But just as the summer sun grows hotter, the water evaporates and lowers the surface level. These giant circles of the colors yellow, blue, and green appear out of the bottom of the lake. The colorful pools are the result of a high concentration of minerals, including calcium, sodium sulfates, and magnesium sulfate in the water. The place holds a spiritual meaning to the residents of Okanagan, who have visited the place for millennia because of its healing powers. Other than that, during the First World War, the lake was dredged to collect minerals to make ammunition. Others have collected the minerals for spa treatments. Doll's eyes. This is the white baneberry or doll's eyes, a flowering plant species that is famous for its bright white berries on red stalks. The plant is native to eastern Canada. Don't get all excited, as these weird-looking eye berries are poisonous in nature. The berries contain cardiogenic toxins, which can have an immediate sedative effect on human cardiac muscle tissue and are the most poisonous part of the plant. Ingestion of the berries can lead to your untimely end. Birds that consume the berries are apparently immune to the toxicity and act as the major dispenser of its seeds. Signpost forest. The signpost forest in Canada is a collection of different signposts. It is located deep within the Yukon, and all of these signs are part of the signpost forest. the largest collection of signs from places around the world. This ritual started in 1942, and it started when a U.S. soldier, Clark K. Lindley, was instructed to repair and put up signposts during the Alaska Highway Project. After putting up those, he put up a sign of his hometown in Danville, Illinois. And from here, the legend of the signpost forest started. If you ever visit Canada, don't forget to pay a visit here with a sign of your hometown. Today's open discussion is a picture of an animal hybrid that was found in a Canadian forest by a man. This bizarre creature resembled a monkey with the body of a human. Many said that it was a member of an indigenous tribe. Others hinted toward a failed lab experiment. What do you guys think? Tell us by commenting down below. Polar Bear Jail. There is a special jail-like enclosure for polar bears in Canada. The place was built to keep the naughty ones off human territories. This polar bear jail is located on the banks of Hudson Bay, Winnipeg, Churchill. It has the capacity to hold up to 800 polar bears, as the cases of polar bear attacks were on a rise. This led to the species' decline, after which the facility was constructed. Their admission to jail is carried out by a team who first tranquilize them and then confine them in the facility cages for up to 30 days without any food. You may think it's cruel, but after this, the bears are released in the wild via a helicopter ride. They are also tagged for any future monitoring. McBarge. McDonald's was once McBarge. The story behind this goes back to 1986, when the world's Exposition for Transportation and Communication was built. But due to some issues, it was soon abandoned. So the world's first McDonald's on the water is still standing there deserted. The place was a huge fancy McDonald's restaurant. But there were some talks in 2015 of someone purchasing it. Whatever he will use it for, McBarge will remain forever in our hearts. A little inconvenient, but a creative idea. Scotty the T.REX. The largest Tyrannosaurus rex ever discovered on the planet. The fossil was found in a site in Canada, which is the heaviest Tyrannosaurus rex specimen ever found, an animal that weighed an estimated 19,500 pounds, far heftier than most elephants alive today. Scotty roamed the Earth some 66 million years ago. It was found in August 1991 in Saskatchewan by a joint team of paleontologists on a local expedition. Researchers believe Scotty was over 28 years old when it died, older than any other T.REX specimen. And don't get confused by the name, as the size and shape of its bones suggest that Scotty was actually a female. The Smoking Hills. Smoking Hills located on the east coast of Cape Bathurst in Canada. These hills have been smoking and burning for thousands of years now. The explorers believed volcanic activity was causing the hills to burn, but in fact, there is another explanation. These multicolored hills have been burning due to the present hydrocarbons in them. The hills have quite a superstition attached to them, with people saying that the unholy and devilish spirits burn in the hills. They were also referred to as the land of hell. Travelers all over the world go to see these burning hills that produce an eye-catching rainbow aesthetic with dark red and barren red-striped rocks. Well, that's all guys for today. Thank you for watching this video, and if you guys found it interesting, I would much appreciate it if you comment down below about the video and leave the thumbs up. Last but not least, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for getting updates related to our latest videos.